Obedience.
The Obidient.
The Obedients were behind the EndSARS.
We're behind the EndSARS.
Yes, it was manufactured from America and was brought in just to stop him.
Some people thought EndSARS was the end of Tinubu.
EndSARS was aimed to be the end of Tinubu.
Did you say that?
Yes.
EndSARS
was designed to be the end of Tinubu.
Can you expatiate?
Those behind the EndSARS knew that's what they were doing.
Who were those behind it?
The what do you call them? The Obedience.
The Obidient.
The Obedients were behind the EndSARS.
We're behind the EndSARS.
Yes, it was manufactured from America and was brought in just to stop him.
But who are the Obedients?
I said the Obedients.
So who are the Obedients? So who are the Obedients?
The Obedients came from America to do the EndSARS and later became a movement to form a party, and they couldn't form a party and join whichever party.
You know, I thought Obidient was tied to Peter Obi.
Well, maybe Obi's party, I don't know. Maybe Obi's movement, I don't know. But the Obedients were behind the EndSARS.
So it was well planned.
Organized with a lot of money.
From America?
From America, yes.
How come Tinubu did not see this coming?
Not every ambush is detected.
Not every ambush is dictated.
The person speaking is Chief Bisi Akande. He's a politician. He was a former governor of Osun State from 1999 to 2023. He is a member of the All Progressive Congress. He was the first interim chairman of the All Progressive Congress when APC was formed prior to the 2015 general election. So you don't expect him to say anything different. As a matter of fact, he boasted that he was the one that forced Bola Ahmed Tinubu to run for the presidency, even though we all knew that it has been the ambition of Bola Ahmed Tinubu to become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. What Bisi Akande is trying to do is to rewrite history. This is what they have been trying to do because they know that most Nigerians have short-term memory. They tend to forget easily, the same way many people has forgotten what happened during the EndSARS protest. I can remember vividly during the EndSARS protest, there was an outrage against the old politicians, and Nigerians sworn that they were not going to vote for any old politicians again. As a matter of fact, that was when they started talking about the third force. They floated a new party then that was called the Youth Party, and they were looking at a young person that would become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The way Nigerians took it so serious that period, everyone thought that someone like Shawunlu would not become the governor of Lagos State. Not to even talk about Tinubu, who many Nigerians perceive as the one that was behind the killing of protesters at the Lekki toll gate. Many Nigerians accuse Bola Ahmed Tinubu of being the one that ordered soldiers to go and kill protesters at the Lekki toll gate. The outrage was so much that people do not even believe that Bola Ahmed Tinubu will become the president. But you also saw what happened in 2023, how some persons supported Bola Ahmed Tinubu, supported Sanwo-Olu, and people tend to have forgotten what happened during the EndSARS protests, and the people they perceive to have been the ones behind the killing of protesters at the Lekki toll gate are still in power today. So you can see that most Nigerians have short-term memory. They tend to forget a lot. They don't hold grudges against those that cause them pains. So Chief Bisi Akande is aware of this, and he's trying to rewrite history. He's trying to give us a new template as to what happened during the EndSARS protest. He's blaming the Obidient movement, that these are the people that caused the EndSARS protest. Now you need to understand that this is not just about the Obidient movement. It is about Mr. Peter Obi. They are trying to pin it against Mr. Peter Obi because after the EndSARS protest, some persons were so aggrieved, and then prior to the 2023 general election, Mr. Peter Obi came up, and most Nigerians vented their grievances against the government behind Mr. Peter Obi. They saw Mr. Peter Obi as a leader at which they can use to frustrate these old politicians. So they all threw their support behind Mr. Peter Obi. Mr. Peter Obi gained wide recognition and support from the young people. Therefore, I'm sure that Chief Bisi Akande is looking at that scenario and saying, yes, Mr. Peter Obi actually sponsored these EndSARS protesters against Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Because definitely that protest and the resulting effect of what happened at the Lekki toll gate actually put a dent on the image and name of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. If we are actually a serious nation, Bola Ahmed Tinubu would not have become the president. So Chief Bisi Akande, as an elder statesman, is trying to rewrite history. And if care is not taken, what he is saying will be carried along. Generations to come will now believe that the EndSARS protest was against Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The EndSARS protest was formed to tarnish the image of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The EndSARS protest was sponsored by Peter Obi through the Obidient movement in order to stop Bola Ahmed Tinubu from becoming the president. This is the message they are trying to propagate. So we need to correct that anomaly. We need to stop this wrong message from spreading across. In case you have forgotten, this is what led to the EndSARS protest. The EndSARS protest is not just a protest against police brutality. It is a protest of citizens' frustration against bad government, against bad leadership, against government's neglect of the citizens. It is a protest against age-long decay that we've experienced in our society. For a very long time, Nigerian citizens have been neglected. Ever since Nigeria got her independence, Nigerian citizens have been clamoring for good governance. But the Nigerian leaders have neglected the call for good governance. The bad governance we are experiencing in this country is affecting every institution in our country, from the National Assembly to the judiciary to the security agencies. The security agencies have neglected their primary role of protecting life of citizens and fighting against crime. Criminality has become the order of the day in our country. Insecurity has escalated to high heavens. For instance, for the past 2 decades, Nigeria has been fighting Boko Haram insurgency, and to date we are unable to defeat insurgency in our own land. Insurgency has cumulated to other forms of criminality like banditry and kidnapping. The EFC that was charged with the responsibility of going after corrupt public officials and now going after Nigerians that are carrying out their legitimate source of business. Of course, we know that there's a rise of Yahoo boys in our country today, which the EFC have now neglected their main duty of going after corrupt politicians, and they are now going after Yahoo boys. The activities of Yahoo boys in this country do not in any way affect the economy of Nigeria, the same way the activities of corrupt politicians affect the economy of Nigeria and Nigeria performance overall. Now, the police and the defense SARS have also abandoned their duty of protecting the citizens and fighting crime, and they are now going after young Nigerians that are carrying out their legitimate business. There is widespread extortion, police brutality against the citizens. For a long time, Nigerians have been complaining about this police brutality, especially from SARS. They've been using social media to speak against police brutality. There are videos of how police are brutalizing and humiliating citizens on the road and even in their homes. In October 2020, one of such videos filtered the airways where SARS were chasing after young Nigerians in their vehicle, and this led to accident that claimed the life of innocent Nigerians. That incident was the reason of the EndSARS protest. This incident happened in Ughelli, Delta State. When Nigerians saw that video, they were so angry, they were so annoyed, because for a very long time, they've been complaining about police brutality and nothing was done about it. This led to a protest in Delta State, and the protest quickly spread like a wildfire to every part of this country. The protest was to draw government attention to the menace of police brutality in Nigeria. And of course, many Nigerians were frustrated. They took their frustration to the protest ground and they were protesting peacefully. But you know that we have irresponsible government. Rather than taking responsibility to address the challenges on ground, they will always try to suppress the voice of dissent. They will always try to suppress the voice of the people. The government of President Muhammadu Buhari saw the protest as a protest against his government. They saw the protest as a protest to overthrow the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The protest was very rift in Lagos State, and the Lekki toll gate was shut down. The Lekki toll gate is a source of revenue to the Lagos State government. So that protest was stopping that revenue from coming forth. Then the government now have to devise a means. Thoughts were sent to the street of Lagos and other parts of the country to disrupt that protest. It is a thoughts that were sent by the government that turned the protest into a violent protest. The protest was always and still remain a peaceful protest till the government decided to unleash thoughts against innocent protesters. The thoughts were the ones responsible for the looting. The thoughts were the ones responsible for the arson. It is the government's best way to stop the protest. But when the people refused to stop the protest and go home, military men were unleashed against the people. On 20th of October 2020, Nigerian military shot at unarmed innocent Nigerian protesters that were gathered at the Lekki toll gate, killing over 100 innocent protesters and their bodies carted away. And then when Bola Tinubu was interviewed regarding the EndSARS protest, he asked a question: what were they doing there? Now that statement alone made Nigerians to feel that, oh, it was because of the Lekki toll gate that was stopping revenue to the Lagos state government that made the government to unleash Nigerian military against innocent protesters. And of course, they now see Bola Tinubu as the person behind the EndSARS protest. So Chief Bisi Akande is trying to rewrite history. He's trying to twist your mind. He's trying to make you believe what is not true. The cause of the EndSARS protest is bad governance. The cause of the EndSARS protest is government negligence. The cause of the EndSARS protest is police brutality. Nigerians simply went to the streets to vent their frustration against the government for not listening to their cry, for not stopping police brutality against Nigerians. The EndSARS protest was a period where Nigerians went to the streets to vent their frustration against the government for not stopping police brutality. The same way they went on the street to vent their frustration on 1st of August 2024 against bad government. That protest was tagged End Bad Government. Therefore, it has nothing to do with Obidient movement. It has nothing to do with Mr. Peter Obi. It has everything to do with bad government. The same bad government that Nigerians are still experiencing till date. The same police brutality that Nigerians are still experiencing till date. Everything that Nigerians have been complaining against the government, they are still experiencing it till date. The government is not willing to solve the problem of Nigerians. When Nigerians will take to the streets to protest, they will not look for someone to hold responsible for that protest. The same way they accuse Mr. Peter Obi of being the one responsible for the August 1st protest. Whereas we all know that frustration, hunger, hardship, bad governance is all responsible for the August 1st protest, and this is what we are experiencing to date. And definitely Nigerians will still go to the street to protest. They will still look for someone to blame, and as long as Mr. Peter Obi is still available, they will keep blaming him, because Peter Obi is the only person that can challenge Bola Tinubu. They are seeing Mr. Peter Obi as the only credible and effective opposition candidate to Bola Tinubu. That is why they are using everything possible to discredit his name. And someone like Bisi Akande, a supposed elder statesman, an elderly man that was supposed to say the truth, an elderly man that was supposed to ensure that there is peace and unity in our country, is the one that is responsible, that is carrying out fake news, is the one that is trying to rewrite history. But we are here to make sure that their fake news and their attempt to rewrite history do not see the light of the day. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.